Good morning, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the top stories of the hour. Final preparations on full swing for Sunday's local level by-election. Election officers and staffs provided with election materials. Election Commission urges all to uphold silence period. Bheri Babai diversion project fails to gain momentum despite tunnel breakthrough attained a year ahead. Parliamentary committee warns of action in case of breach of deadline. Rebel forces launch a major offensive in northwestern Syria, capturing territory from President Bashar al-Assad's forces. More than 180 combatants believed to have died on both sides. And Manchester United makes a winning Old Trafford start under Ruben Amorim, defeating Norwegian Bodo Glimt at Europa League. Chelsea defeat Heidenheim to stay atop UEFA Conference League standings. Let us begin with some update on by-election. Preparations for Sunday's by-elections are in final stages. The Election Commission has warned of actions in case any party or concerned individuals are found violating the rules of silence period that came into effect since midnight last night. 44 positions had been vacant at local levels, of which 3 were fulfilled as the candidates were elected unopposed. Voters will exercise their franchise on Sunday coming week to choose 41 local representatives. This includes chairpersons at 2 rural municipalities, 4 deputy chairs and 34 ward chairpersons. 162 voting stations have been set up and 293 voting centers for Sunday's election. The Bheri Babai diversion project's 12-kilometer-long tunnel achieved breakthrough 1 year ahead of its schedule. However, the overall progress of the project has remained sluggish. The delay is especially seen in the construction of power production unit along the main dam in Surkhet's Chiple. A parliamentary committee team that reached the site for monitoring has warned the project contractors of actions if the deadline is not met. The committee has also asked for weekly updates on the project. The project's initial investments were estimated at 16,430 million rupees. So far, 16,410 million rupees in capital and 173.6 million rupees in current expenditure have been released. The project's cost has also inflated to 33,196.6 million rupees, and it is certain to go further up. Meanwhile, the progress has remained dismal. The government has this year released 1,800 million rupees for the project. However, concerned officials say the amount is too low to meet the targets.
त्यो कुराहरु हुनु पर्यो बजेट एस्योरेन्सका कुराहरु केही ढिलाइ भएका छन् अनि स्रोत सुनिश्चितता र बहुवर्षीय खरिदहरुको सहमति ढिलाइ भएको छ.
Lack of trained human resource, construction materials and lack of knowledge among the local consultants have been attributed as the reasons behind the delay.
आर्थिक रूपमा फाइदा नहुने भएको भए त लम्ब्यायो भने देखि त घाटा हुन्छ भनेको भए त मान्छेले छिटो काम गर्ने गर्थ्यो नि. जस्तो यो ठुलो प्रोजेक्टबाट चाहिँ अरबौं रुपैयाँको चाहिँ मोबिलाइजेसन गएको छ र त्यो मोबिलाइजेसनको चाहिँ पनि पैसा यो परियोजनामा लगाउनु भन्दा अन्त पनि लगानी गरेको हुन सक्छ.
पावर हाउसको साइट अहिले तपाईहरुले भिजिट गर्नुभयो हेर्नुभयो सरसाफको साइट. आज 5 वर्षपछि पनि पावर हाउसको फाउन्डेसन पावर हाउसको मेन स्ट्रक्चरको ड्रइङ अहिलेसम्म फाइनल भएको छैन है. अब हामी कति म्याथ थप गरेर प्रोजेक्टमा बस्ने.
The government with the project aimed to provide irrigation facility to 51,000 hectares of land in Bake Bardia, also producing 46.8 megawatt electricity and providing drinking water to Kohalpur.
ट्रान्सफर्मर चाहिँ हाम्रो 3 वटा बनाउनु पर्ने 3 वटै बनिसकेको छ. अब उनीहरुले शिपिङ गर्ने चरणमा छन्. टर्बाइन चाहिँ एउटा बनिसकेको छ र अब त्यही आकारमा अब अरु दुईटा चाहिँ बन्ने चरणमा छन्. यो इलेक्ट्रोमेकानिकल अन्तर्गतमा.
Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has been directing concerned officials to ensure timely completion of national pride projects. However, lack of resource has been one of the major constraints obstructing the progress. Foreign policy issues in Nepal, such as visits by government leaders or foreign aid agreements, often spark disputes among political parties despite clear constitutional guidelines. Unlike other countries where ruling and opposition parties share a unified stance on foreign policy, Nepal faces frequent conflicts. Former ambassadors Nilambar Acharya and Vishnu Pukar Shrestha spoke to Kantipur News on the matter.
एक वर्ष पुगेको हुँदैन सत्तामा बसेकालाई चाहिने हटाउने प्रयास हुन्छ अर्को सत्ता आउँछ अर्कोले फेरि हटाउने प्रयास गर्छ यसले गर्दा फेरि हामीहरु कहाँ चाहिने यो स्थायित्व परराष्ट्र नीतिमा पनि अप्ठ्यारो परेको हो।
दलहरूले हेर्दाखेरि यो चाहिँ नि मेरो दृष्टिकोणमा राष्ट्रिय हितको पक्षमा छैन भन्ने कन्क्लुजन निकाल्नुहुन्छ क्या उहाँहरूले। तर हाम्रो यहाँ के छ भने यो राष्ट्रिय सार्वभौमसत्ताको प्रश्न उठ्दा अथवा राष्ट्रियताको प्रश्न उठ्दा सबै राजनीतिक दलहरूले चाहिँ एकै ठाउँमा उभिने,
आफ्नो आन्तरिक चाहिने राजनीतिक स्थितिलाई हेरेर पनि अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय सम्बन्धहरूलाई परिभाषित गर्ने, सञ्चालन गर्न खोज्ने प्रयास गरिरहे।
हाम्रो विदेश नीतिमा चाहिँ नि एउटा कन्सिस्टेन्सी ल्याउनु पर्ने जो आवश्यकता हो त्यसको ठिक ढङ्गको परिपूर्ण नभएको भनेर पनि हामीले भन्न सक्दछौँ।
हामी कहाँ त छिनछिनमा सरकार बदलिन्छ, छिनछिनमा मन्त्री बदलिन्छन्, छिनछिनमा राजदूत बदलिन्छन्। कसरी हामीले परराष्ट्र सम्बन्धलाई अगाडि बढाउन सक्छौँ?
अरू देशमा पनि छ नि हाम्रो जस्तै होइन, बहुत विभिन्न दृष्टिकोण भएका पोलिटिकल पार्टीहरू त हुनुहुन्छ।
नेपाली काङ्ग्रेस र अर्को एमाले दुईटा एकदम परस्पर विरोधी आइडियोलोजीका पार्टीहरू हो। दुवैको विश्व दृष्टिकोणमा फरक रहेको छ। यो फरकले पनि परराष्ट्र नीतिको अभ्यासमा, समझमा केही भिन्नता ल्याउन सक्छ।
राष्ट्रिय हितको पक्षमा जब कुरा आउँछ, राष्ट्रिय सुरक्षाको जब प्रश्न आउँछ, सबैजना एक ठाउँमा उभिएर
कार्ड खेलेको रूपमा नहेरेर आफ्नो आस्था, विश्वास, दृष्टिकोणको रूपमा हेर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ।
Moving on, 53% of total foreign investments in Nepal in the past 12 years have come from Chinese investors. However, the number of large-scale investments have remained low as existing projects have struggled to go full-scale. Chinese investors are also believed to be discouraged from investing in energy sector in Nepal, as India has stated it will not import power from projects with Chinese investments. The Department of Industries in the past 12 years has approved foreign direct investments, FDIs, worth 494 billion rupees. Of that, 264 billion, which is 53%, comes from Chinese investors. Most of the projects, however, are of small scale.
लगानीको हिसाबले नि चाइनाको लगानी एक नम्बरमा नै पर्छ। विगत 12 वर्षको तथ्याङ्कलाई हेर्ने हो भने त्यो 12 वर्षको तथ्याङ्कमा करिब 4000 प्रोजेक्ट मध्ये 2100 भन्दा बढी प्रोजेक्टहरू चाइनिज प्रोजेक्टहरू छन्। संख्या चाहिँ बढी हुने साना उद्योगहरुमा विशेष गरी आकर्षण चाहिँ बढी साना उद्योगहरुमा देखिन्छ।
Last fiscal year, the government approved Chinese investments in 323 industries, of which 317 were small-scale and 6 were medium-scale investments below 500 million rupees. For investments worth above 6 billion rupees, it's the investment board that has been assigned with the responsibility for approval. The board some 9 years ago had approved investments in Hongxi Cement worth 35 billion rupees, which is the biggest foreign investment in Nepal so far. The second big investment from China was Huaxin Cement, which is also in operation at the moment. However, Chinese investors' interest on hydropower projects have remained low.
जस्तो लोअर मनङ मर्सिङदी, अप्पर मर्सिङदी 1 र अप्पर मर्सिङदी 2 इनमा चाहिँ लगानीको लागि चिनिया लगानीकर्ताहरू सहितको एसपीबीहरू खडा भएका छन्। अब इनमा चाहिँ पीडी गर्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता छ, तर पीडी को बारेमा उहाँहरूको पक्षबाट हाम्रो तर्फबाट केही छैन। अहिले उहाँहरूले चाहिँ अब अहिले पछिल्लो समयमा त्यति चासो आइसकेको छैन।
Meanwhile, the ongoing economic stalemate has left existing 2 large cement industries struggling to go full scale. Furthermore, as India has clarified it will not purchase energy produced from hydropower projects and any other products from companies with Chinese investments, it has largely discouraged potential investments from China.
थर्ड वर्ल्डमा बेच्ने बारेमा लगानी मात्रै होइन कि हाइड्रो र त्यसपछि गाई फार्म एयरपोर्टमा मात्रै लगानी होइन कि सानो सानो होटलमा मात्रै लगानी होइन कि कतै नेपालीले नै नेपालमा उत्पादन गरेर कन्ज्युम गर्ने लेभलमा पो कहीं इन्भेस्टमेन्ट ल्याउन सकिन्छ कि। उदाहरणको लागि सिम्पल के हुन सक्छ भन्दा चाहिँ नेपालीलाई अहिले सब नभएको एउटा उद्योग छ। चाइनाले संसारभरि सस्तोमा गर्न सक्ने त्यो टेक्नोलोजी चाइनासँग छ। उदाहरणको लागि इन्डक्सन चुलो।
Economists say the government should take concrete investment proposals during Prime Minister Oli's China visit, ones that will give products that can be exported to countries other than India or can be consumed within the local market itself. District Attorney Office Kathmandu has begun taking statements from Rashtra Swatantra Party Chair Ravi Lamechhane, alleged of involvement in cooperatives fraud case. He was brought to Kathmandu from Pokhara yesterday from Kaski police custody. Lamechhane has been alleged of embezzling cooperatives' funds, money laundering and organized crime. In Kathmandu, he has been alleged of involvement in the mishandling of Swarna Lakshmi cooperative. Kathmandu District Court had issued an arrest warrant against Lamechhane on 17th of November. On Sunday, the Kaski District Court had remanded him for 15 days. He has also been alleged of involvement in mishandling of Butwal's Supreme Cooperative funds and had been taken to Rupandehi District Attorney's office for questioning. An arrest warrant has also been issued against him from Chitwan. Now, the government has determined the new minimum support price for sugarcane farmers, raising it by 20 rupees from the price last year. Yesterday's cabinet meeting decided to maintain the minimum support price for sugarcane at 585 rupees per quintal. The government, however, is yet to determine the grant amount for sugarcane farmers. Minister for Agriculture and Livestock Development, Ramnath Adhikari, had proposed to raise the grant amount to sugarcane farmers. However, the Council of Ministers cited country's current economic state and pushed the decision for later. The government has been providing grant worth 70 rupees per quintal to the farmers, which is handed out through industrialists. It is time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on the preparations to hand over the responsibility of operating infrastructures like Dharahara to private sector? Your options are A, apathy towards local governments, B, commission game, and C, encouraging the private sector. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Australia is to ban children under 16 from using social media after its parliament approved the world's strictest laws. The ban, which will not take effect for at least 12 months, could see tech companies fined up to $32.5 million if they do not comply. Children who find ways to flout the rules will not face penalties, however. This is not the first attempt globally to restrict children's social media use, but the minimum age of 16 is the highest set by any country. Unlike other attempts, it also does not include exemptions for existing users or those with parental consent. Having passed the Senate by 34 votes to 19, the bill returned to House of Representatives, where it passed early on Friday. The legislation does not specify which platforms will be banned. Australia's Communications Minister, Michelle Rowland, has said the ban will include Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. Gaming and messaging platforms are exempt, as are sites that can be accessed without an account, meaning YouTube, for instance, is likely to be spared. The government says it will rely on some form of age verification technology to implement the restrictions, and options will be tested in the coming months. The onus will be on the social media platforms to add these processes themselves. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the legislation is needed to protect young people from the harms of social media, something many parent groups have echoed. Polling on the reforms, though limited, suggested it is supported by a majority of Australian parents and caregivers. Rebel forces have launched a major offensive in northwestern Syria, capturing territory from President Bashar al-Assad's forces for the first time in years. The Islamist militant group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, and allied factions said they had seized control of a number of towns and villages in Aleppo and Idlib provinces since Wednesday. The Syrian military said its forces were confronting a large-scale attack by terrorists and inflicting heavy losses on them. A UK-based monitoring group said more than 180 combatants on both sides had been killed in the fighting. At least 19 civilians have also been killed in Syrian and Russian airstrikes on opposition-held areas. More than 500,000 people have been killed in the civil war that erupted after the government cracked down violently on peaceful pro-democracy protests in 2011. Idlib is the last remaining opposition stronghold and is home to more than 4 million people, many of whom have been displaced during the conflict and are living in dire conditions. The enclave is mostly controlled by HTS, but Turkish-backed rebel factions operating under the banner of Syrian National Army SNA and Turkish forces are also based in there. In 2020, Turkey and Russia, a staunch ally of Assad, brokered a ceasefire to halt a push by the government to retake Idlib. That led to an extended lull in violence, but sporadic clashes in fact, airstrikes and shelling continued. Last month, the UN Special Envoy for Syria warned that the wars in Gaza and Lebanon appear to be catalyzing conflict in northwest Syria in a dangerous manner. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.